Look at this, dude. That's a castle, man.
We are not back. We are so not back. I am unbelievably jet lagged. I'm wrecked. I've been waking up at 4 a.m. Every day, no alarm. Um, so now I've just been in bed since 3 p.m. I left the house. I tried to vlog. I gave up. I'm going to have a sleep in the middle of the day. I'm going to try and wake up later and get up, walk around until like 11 p.m. and then sleep again. And hopefully we'll get back on track.
Okay, I'm going to be real. That nap was a horrible mistake. I did not wake up. My alarm didn't wake me up, and I ended up sleeping until like 3 a.m. I think instead of making the jet lag a little bit better, it has made it heaps worse. So what I was supposed to do was kind of get up at a reasonable time, book tickets to the British Museum, and then we would do that today. However, obviously that's not happened. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to check out the Tower of London and London Bridge. And then I did an Amazon order for a bunch of stuff that I needed to film the shows that we're going to check out as well. Because here, obviously, everyone lives in like apartments, yeah? So you can't just get stuff delivered because not everyone has like a doorman or a safe place to leave it. And I'm staying in like some weird hybrid between a hotel and a hostel, you know? Because London's expensive, man, to stay. It's quite expensive. Like, every other city was fairly reasonably cheap. Like, I got mostly, I wouldn't say hotels, but definitely not motels, you know what I mean? Like, kind of in the middle between those two things. Whereas London, dude, so expensive, especially because I'm here for 2 weeks. I got a private room, but I got communal bathroom, so that's it. Although, it's kind of cool, like doing it cheap, you know what I mean? I don't want to be doing a luxury version of it. Like, I could have a tour manager and a driver and all that kind of stuff, but there's something really cool about just doing the trains here. And doing this first tour just completely solo with a backpack. I really am annoyed that I had to take the suitcase just because all my camera gear. I wish I could have got away with just a backpack. That would have been ideal, but didn't happen. So I think, I don't know, maybe Monday we'll do the museums. I read that it was free entry and I just assumed you would rock up and wait in a queue for a bit, but it's free tickets. So I don't want to be standing there for fucking 4 or 5 hours waiting to maybe get into a museum that I would obviously want to spend hours at anyway. So we'll book tickets early morning for next week probably, and we'll go there. I don't know. I don't imagine I'd be able to film much of it. But, you know, that's what it is. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Amazon order, right? Obviously, you can't like get it delivered to where you live, or at least I can't. They've got pickup places all over the city where you just rock up with a code in your app and put it in. Because that hair product that I bought in the other vlog, trash. Like, it's not holding my hair in place at all. I do have a lot more hair than I usually do. I'm growing it out. I've decided that I'm handsome enough to have long hair. I've never had long hair before. Well, I used to when I was like 15, but it looked weird. Now I kind of know what I want it to look like. But we're in that awkward period where, I mean, you would have seen in the last few episodes, if I'm not wearing half a fucking kilo of super glue in my hair, it looks ridiculous. Although a lot of people are telling me it looks good. I don't know. It looks different, and I don't know if I like that. Look at this. What's this building here? I changed the settings on the camera too, so it should... there we go. It moves around when I move it. When I move it this time. Before it wasn't. Can I cross here? Yeah, I was messing around with the camera settings last night, trying to get it to look a little bit better. I've also messed with the sound. My voice should be a lot clearer, but if it's not, let me know. Dude, it smells like weed here, really strong. Is it legal here? I feel like it's not. I don't, although I've never looked it up. Maybe it is. Everywhere else seems to have legalized it, except for Australia. Still into prescription here. All right, where are we going? Okay. Still going this way? Yes, still going this way. All right, the Tower of London. Also, what should I do at night? Tomorrow is Saturday night. I want to do something. I want to experience a bit of nightlife because next week I'm out of here. Next weekend, rather. So this will be my only weekend where I can actually do something at night. I'm excited for these shows though, dude. They're going to be the biggest shows of the tour in London, which is cool. I think there are 150 and there's 2 of them, I think, which is just crazy. I got my ticket reports in just yesterday, and I'm really happy with how it's going. You know? Oh, green. Because some of them, like the London ones, sold out. Manchester one sold out. I think there's extra tickets to the added shows that we added to both of those cities. So that's mental. And some of them, you know, we've only sold like 20 tickets, but I think that'll pick up as we get closer. And like a lot of the venues we're doing, they're only like 80 to 100 seaters anyway. And fuck, the way I see it, dude, if I can pay for the train ticket over and a night of accommodation and some food, that is a huge win. And a free holiday to the UK. We get to kind of get my name out in this country and get people to see me and spread that word of mouth. Reminds me very much of my first Australia tour. I reckon one of the biggest reasons you sell tickets is people missing you and then going, fuck, I should have gone, you know? Because I noticed that every time I go to a city anywhere in Australia for the first time, the second time I sell like double. Even if I sold out, it's like the second time you go, it's like people have FOMO from the first time they didn't go, or all the people that chose not to. But yeah, dude, I'm just stoked with how it's going because it's looking like we'll probably sell out a bunch of shows, which is obviously very exciting. Where are we going? I'm very conscious of walking around like fucking Inspector Gadget with my phone and my camera and shit. Everything I'm like squeezing in my hand. I've seen a lot of videos of people on bikes just zooming past people, snatching a phone, and then they keep going. I have seen a little bit of theft actually, like in real life. I was at a Tesco Express near mine, and literally there was like this, I don't know the accent. I think it was like maybe Jamaican, kind of not really. And he was in the streets screaming, "Let's see what I can steal from Tesco today, huh? Let's see what I might get for myself." Just screaming, announcing to everyone that he was going to rob the Tesco. Sure enough, he goes in the Tesco and I was there getting water. And as soon as he walks in, he just gets surrounded instantly by like 5 people. He's like, "What? I'm here to pay this time. I am here to pay." And they're all like, "No, you're not. We know you're here to steal. You do this all the time. We heard you yelling about it in the street." "I was joking, man. I'm not being serious. Look, I just want a bottle of water and a sandwich, man." It was very funny. So I suppose that was more of an attempt. But in that same Tesco's, actually, I'm staying in Whitechapel. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But in that same Tesco's, I was getting like a protein shake, and this dude like loaded 4 cases of Mother into a tote bag and just sprinted out. So I guess it's a bit of a rougher area here. Seeing a bit of homeless around as well, but I feel very safe. I don't feel... Wow. What is this? Is this the tower? Dude. Some castle? That's crazy. Is that the tower, or is that just something else? Every monument I see, I'm like, yeah, that's the tower. All right. Well, maybe we go back this way and cross. Because, dude, that's so sick. I gotta go in there. Sorry if you hear that jingling. I don't know if you noticed as well. New merch. Announced soon. This is a test print. We're going to remove the print from one side of the shirt to the other, but it's really cool, I think. All right. Crossing here. Dude, I can't get over the fact that I'm just like looking at a castle. You know? Like I'm in a city holding a camera. I've got internet access, but I'm also looking at a castle. Okay. Roof with moss on it. That's very cool. I don't think anyone else here thinks that's cool, but I do. For some reason, that's like super English, huh? A mossy roof? That's English as fuck. God blimey, I've got to be a moss on me roof. Speaking of, the other day I heard my very first organic bottle of water. And man, it got me. It really tickled me. Someone going, can I get a bottle of water, mate? It's really good. But even better than that, dude. Even better than that, I was at the Lego store, which, by the way, don't go. Horrific. Overcrowded. Horrible. Full of screaming children. Absolutely awful. Don't go. World War I monument. I don't know if you can read this, but it says, to the glory of God and to the honor of 12,000 of the merchant navy and fishing fleets who have no grave but the sea. Wow. I guess these are all names. That's heavy. Look at this. Dude. That's a fucking castle, man. Wow. Look how fucking big it is. Could you imagine? Look at all these windows where you're shooting arrows out. Could you imagine you're just a guy on a horse and your boss is like, all right, boys, today we're going to take this. Fucking hell. But me lord, the walls are too high. The Tower of London moat. Oh, this is a moat, dude. Of course. Wow. So this was all water at some point. But me lord, I can't swim. We're wearing bloody armour. Crazy. Look how big it is. So I just read the tower was built in the year 1070 by William the Conqueror. And he built a tower inside the walls, but the walls were built by the Roman Empire before the tower. So I don't know when the walls were built. And this is where a bunch of kings and queens stayed. And when they were coronated, they would start here and then they would walk down to Westminster Abbey for the coronation. Then in the year 1100, this was turned into a prison and they held heaps of executions in here. Lots of heads were lopped off in this castle. Dude, I can't believe that this is still standing. 1070. And the walls before that. Dude.
I'm totally forgetting. I can't see it back there.
I can't fucking believe it. That's so cool. This is what I was talking about. This is what I wanted to see. Old shit. Mental.
Now behind you and to the right is a tall, narrow archway. Now this is known as the Sally Port or Royal Entry, beyond which would have been a small drawbridge leading out onto the Queen's Stairs and directly down to the River Thames. Now rather than travel through the narrow and packed streets of London, royalty and nobility would travel in their impressive barges, tie up alongside those stairs and with little difficulty gain access into the tower. Now those gates are original and date back more than 700 years.
When you go in there today, spiral staircase, go and
This is unbelievable. I was just in a tower that was used as a prison and they have graffiti by prisoners carved into the walls that was done in the year 1540. And there are some even older than that, and in all different languages too, not just English, not just Old English, Latin, Spanish, German, all these people. There was one guy that was in a close prisoner, which is essentially solitary confinement, and he was counting down the hours, and he was there for like 8 months, 30-something days, however many hours. Crazy. They keep the crown jewels in there. And they're apparently, according to the Beefeater, real. And not the copy, the actual jewels. So I will line up to see that. That's where they held all the prisoners over here. That's a church where three queens are buried who were executed here. I can't remember what this is, but this is an old barracks that you could hold up to 1,000 soldiers in when this was actively used as a residence for the royals. They used to live in here, but they've moved to Buckingham Palace because I suppose this wasn't extravagant enough for them. But man, I am just like picturing the other people that used to live here. Like every stone laid, every brick, every window, the trees planted. People lived here. This is built by people. And you look at some of the doors, you can see how small people used to be. I mean, obviously I'm a giant, but you get what I mean. I'm ducking everywhere. I don't know what this is. It's a cafe now. Oh, this is the old hospital block. So people live here currently. So all the beefeaters who are, I guess, kind of the guards of this place, the guys in the red outfits, you have to be a soldier. You have to serve in the army for 20 plus years and receive a medal that essentially means an unblemished record. So no offenses, nothing, you haven't done anything. 20 years, perfect, didn't mess up even once. And even then, if you can manage to pull off that amazing feat, there's only, I think he said 35 positions available ever, total. They don't add. And the guy said that before him, I believe the number was only 352 beefeaters came before him in the history of this place. And one of the guys' jobs, they have a raven master. I don't know if you can see these ravens over there. I got really close to them before. I'll put some footage in over the top. They're such cool birds. They're huge. They don't look very big on camera. I kind of thought, you know, a raven was like the size of a crow. It's like twice as big. There has to be, according to superstition, people who lived here over 1,000 years ago believed that if the ravens ever left this place, the ravens that lived here, if they ever left, one of the towers in here would crumble, and it would kind of signify the end of the English Empire, the kingdom. So, because of that belief, there's a raven master who feeds them every day. And not only does there have to be some ravens, there has to be 6. And here today they have 7 because they don't want to let that number dip below 6. So they've got a spare raven. There used to be, they've got statues here of the animals that they used to keep. Oh. They've got statues up here of animals they used to keep. We'll have a look over here. There used to be lions, because obviously lions were like a symbol of royalty. It's really busy. Coming up here, there's baboons, which I suppose means there used to be baboons. Yeah, here we go, up here. Look at that. So I guess these poor fucking animals were like kidnapped from Africa, shipped off to England, and just were forced to live in a castle. Dude, I just thought, how many of them do you reckon ripped the face off some peasant woman? You know what I mean? I wonder how many baboon attacks were here if they just kidnapped the monkeys as basically a status symbol and let them roam around. Those things are vicious, dude. You don't want baboons as a pet. And I can't imagine they were being fed like properly. So if they got hungry, it's your face for dinner. Let's have a look at the crown jewels. I'm going to line up. I won't subject you to that though. Look at this. See how big it is? It's huge. It's like a dinosaur, man. Look at this, dude. Like, I can't get over it. It's mental. Do you imagine? Like, people lived here, man. All the generations of people who, like, walked down here, going to the market or off to be beheaded. All the executions performed in this place, prisoners held and tortured, lives lived. It's crazy. We're gonna have to get up on the ramparts. I don't know, just like, this is some shit I've only seen in Skyrim, you know what I mean? The 1100s, the Tower of London becomes the stronghold for the nation's valuables. As a secure royal fortress, the Tower of London has long protected the most valuable possessions of the monarch, from jewels and gold plate to weapons and armour. The coronation regalia, the crown and other precious symbols of monarchy were kept at Westminster Abbey until their destruction in 1649. Since then, the new regalia were made in 1660 and they have been kept in this tower. All right, just got out. Weren't allowed to take photos or film, obviously. But they had all the crowns in there, they had all the scepters and all the stolen diamonds that they put in those crowns. They had the big famous, the Kur something that was stolen from India. I don't know, man. Kind of gross, to be honest. Just the obscene pointless use of gold and diamonds. The crown is whatever, because the crown's like more of a symbol. It at least has kind of a function to unite people, I guess. So I just turned my mic on. In there, they had a 420 litre solid gold pot just to hold wine for parties. And it's like so fucking foul and gross and such an obscene waste of resources and money and power to just live a much better life than all of the other people who you are in charge of because you can kill them. I don't know. It was kind of gross. Speaking of gross, this is horrific. A fucking elephant in here. That's awful. King Henry III's elephant. By order of King Henry III, 1255, make a building without delay at the tower for the king's elephant, 40 feet long and 20 feet wide. That is not big enough. Now that is even worse than the jewels. You know what else annoyed me about the jewels, right? We just got put through, like, I'm in a castle. You know what I mean? I'm inside a castle. And everywhere on the walls is like, we stole this diamond from here, and we robbed this person for that. And this scepter has this much gold in it. And then, like, the final bit is like, oh, this is the world's largest diamond ever, the Cullinan. And it was gifted to us by an African nation because our reputation or our relationship was getting better. It's the biggest diamond in the world and it goes in the crown. And then you see that, you can't take a photo of it. And then on the way out, there's a little FPOS machine asking for donations. I'm sorry, but you just showed me the biggest diamond in the world. I'm not going to donate to your castle. You can't be like, dude, check out the biggest diamond on planet Earth that I got for free. Can I have some money? No. Standing there in the sun, it's so hot. They're both probably sweatier than Prince Andrew at a primary school. We did initially set out to see London Bridge, but we've ended up at the Tower of London. However, look over there. There's London Bridge. Can you believe that both of those two things exist in the same place at the same time? And then, like, off in the distance, I can see a modern skyscraper. Like, it seems so crazy. I mean, I've never been in an old country like this. I've never seen something like this before. It's beautiful. Okay, this is sick. Up here, you can get onto the walls of the castle. You can head up, walk along here, go all the way around like you're a guard. So down here is Traitor's Gate, which used to be a way to get in and out. Down here was a river. So it's called Water Street or River Street, I think. Correct me in the comments. But all of this used to be underwater until they raised it. So it was all the level of this water here. And then they added a raised platform, which is what people are walking on now, so that you wouldn't have to swim to get in. This is a portcullis. So this is the gate that they could raise and lower depending on who was trying to get in. They closed it at night, and if they thought they were going to get invaded. And it was operated from here with a giant lever, which I assume no longer functions. Look at this, more ravens up here on the wall. See how close you can get to them. I want to see if we can get up on the walls somehow. Maybe you can't, other than that tiny little section we were at before. Geez, all these medieval kings will be losing their mind at the plumbing they've installed here for the public bathroom. They'd be even more stunned that the public are allowed in here. What's this? Cradle Tower. Oh, private. You can't get up there. Yeah, I think the walls are not available to be accessed because this is all private. I would imagine it's because they don't want any sueys off the walls. They don't want anyone to chuck a suey off the top of the tower. Oh, how do you get up there? Okay, people are getting up high somehow. I can't figure it out. Before we try to find that though, I need some food. That's what I need. Let's see how good the food is at the Royal Palace. I just had the most English meal of all time. Full, entire jacket potato, cooked, no seasoning. Just cheese. And then like some beef chili thing that was not spicy in the slightest. That's the most English meal I've ever had. Gonna head now into the White Tower and the Royal Armory, where they keep all the armor and the weapons and the treasures that aren't the Queen's. Oh, full suits of armor, horse armor. Jeez, look how little these people were. Aren't they small? That's not fitting me. That wouldn't fit anyone in this room. Look how narrow their chest is and how, look at this guy, how narrow his shoulders are, small his chest is, and even his head is tiny. It's really interesting how much smaller humans were. Dude, could you imagine this charging at you? You just get obliterated. Wow. King Charles I's personal suit of armor. A mighty king of 5'1" max. King James II. Oh, this guy had the strap. Isn't that funny that guns and suits of armor were around at the same time? William the Conqueror? Okay. Charles I's armor when he was a child. Collar of Torment. A few of you might be into wearing this by choice. No way. This guy's 6'8". Bloke's my height. I could wear that. That's crazy. Look how big the sword is. Dude, I would fit in this. This guy was German from the year 1500. Right, I can't believe that suit of armor is the Guinness World Record holder for the biggest suit of armor in the world. And it's just built for a guy my size. Like, it would fit me perfect. Exactly my height. That's so sick. So up here is the top of the castle where the king would spend a lot of his time. Check out this fireplace. It's really high up. Tell you what, it's cooking in here. It must have been built, obviously, for the cold, because it is so hot in here. Look at this book. A ledger of receipts, returns, and issues. Medieval QuickBooks. Japanese armor gifted in diplomacy by Japan. That is so sick. Dude, I can't get over how little people were. Like, this is a knight, so you would think this is a big person for them. But bloke is tiny. It's gonna be like 5 foot maybe. That's how small people are. were. My favorite thing about these stairs is that they curve like this to the right. Because if you were attacking and you had a sword, you'd have to use your left hand to hit the person above you who would be defending the castle, whereas the person defending the castle could attack you with their right. So the attacker's at a disadvantage. This chair was used in an execution, and it's damaged because the bullet that hit the guy went through the chair. Little souvenir golden coin. Here it comes. Oh, which one do I want? Oh, I think I like this one.
Evan?
I haven't got Evan, Jamie. I don't think he's Evan. Right, wait here, Jamie.
Fucking hell. This is the Armory. Cannons, guns, spears. Artillery. Things. Curiosities. This is an executioner's block. So usually these would be made and they're single use. They would get burnt afterwards. But this one, you can see the cuts that were made in it. They usually used an axe, but that was very ineffective and unreliable. So they switched to the sword. Last building, the Fusilier Museum. What's in here? Didn't like that one at all. All right, I think the last thing, we've done all the buildings. The last thing is to get up on the wall, which I think is up over there. Here we go. Okay, I'm very excited about this.
Because I look everywhere, but a little bit afraid. Yes, better? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
Possible to make picture like this?
Yeah.
It is old.
Yes.
It is old. Maybe I think here.
Yeah. There you go. There's a few.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
Jake, you're in a whole world now.
Such a cool bird, dude. Check this out. How cool is this? That's so sick. The view. These are houses. So I think staff of the castle live here, I believe. This is all the private area. And then this is London. And this is me.
Mama, Papa.
Give me on.
So sick. Yeah, so all the yeomen, which are the guards dressed in red, they're the ones that live here with their families and their children. And they all hang out together and have functions in here. They even have their own private pub somewhere in here, which is so sick. Sounds like it's the best job ever. Actually, the second best job. The best job would be being one of their wives, because they seemingly just get to live here for free and hang out in a fucking castle. Sick. I feel like I'm in Stormwind. This is so sick. Just read through an exhibition about how this tower was used during more modern conflicts. And in World War I, it was a training center and also a recruitment place, but also still a tourist attraction all at the same time. Like letting tourists come into a military base, essentially, which is crazy. But then in World War II, during the Blitz, they were worried about it getting destroyed by bombers, which thankfully did not happen. But it's mental to think that this thing was around for World War I and II and 1,000 years before that. And then almost another 1,000 years before that, because I read in here that the outer walls, so not the castle bit is pretty much all English on the inside where we are now, but the outer walls, which we saw at the start of the video, those were built by the Romans in the year 200, which is insane. And ever since the Roman Empire collapsed, multiple civilizations and kingdoms have been set up in here, but the English one is the one that lasted. I think there was like a Dutch king in here or a Dutch military base in here at some point. It was also just like a regular village after the Romans left, and now it's this and has been this for 1,000 years. So who knows, man, in another 1,000 years, there might be a whole other civilization that has built something within the walls of this castle. One more time through the bloody tower. Remember before we just had a look at the torture chamber, I was talking about the portcullis? That's this. This is the bottom of it. So the top of it goes up here, and then up here is holes where you would pour boiling oil on intruders. Murder slits up here to shoot arrows.
Come on.
This is the really cool part, I think. Just getting to walk through the streets. And this is the raised street, I think. So this was actually around the level of the river Thames, I think, is the river that's around here. So this all would have been boats, actually. But then they raised it, so it was walkable. Every Easter Monday, the Queen's women trapped Edward I in his bed until he paid them a ransom of £2. Then they would let him join her for the first time after 40 days of abstinence. Hustlers. This is the King's bedroom. This is where all the aforementioned hustling took place. Big fireplace. Private chapel. He's having a little pray in there. A view for the king. Oh, Dude, look. Was that a drawbridge? King in the castle, king in the castle. Wow. No way, the throne room? King Henry III's palace in Wakefield Tower. One of the oldest parts of the medieval palace, King Henry III, Edward I's father, ordered this tower to be built in 1220. It was part of a grand new riverside palace for when the king and queen stayed at the tower. This important room was separated from the small private chapel by a wooden screen. The painted decoration, textile screen and throne are all modern replicas, copied from real objects, manuscripts, illuminations and inscriptions and documents from the 1200s. The stone vaulted ceiling was added in the 1800s. By tradition, Henry III died here, Jan 21st, 1471. Wow, look at the window, man. Look how small the stairs are, dude. This is how small people's feet used to be. Ah. I don't fit in this place at all. Wow. Dude, look at this. Wow. The boats. The peasants. Okay, I'll say it. The trip to London was worth it just for this. I haven't even gotten to doing my shows yet, and I'm sold. Incredible. Look at these doors, dude. They're not very big. Here you go. I don't know if you can see this sign, but it says The Keys. That's the yeoman's private pub that has been operating for almost 1,000 years. And this whole area is the private area where I guess they live. Oh shit, look at that. Looks like they go through a lot of beer. See all those barrels? This famous painting? That happened here, in this castle. Wow. All right, we're gonna exit. We're gonna come through the gates here. How cool is this? Through the gates, again, more murder holes up here, portcullis. And then the bridge. And what would be full of water. This is the moat. All right, that's it. That's the Tower of London. Subscribe, like, talk to you in a couple of days. London shows start next week, and then we're going all over England, Scotland, and Ireland. loosebiz.com. See you there.